Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called Face Generation by developer Andrew Brophy. This is a totally seizurific, epilepsy-inducing shooter game, like a shmup essentially, where we're going to be fighting a baby's head, which will also be causing hallucinogenic flashing lights and shooting us with little colorful balls. So all of those things together has resulted in a situation that seems to be roughly perfect for indie impressions. So I thought we would give this one a shot. I have run through this a couple of times, tried my best to overcome the adversity that befalls me in this particular conundrum. So I will do my best to get ahead further than I have in the past, and I have to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't actually finished this first boss. So I'm going to enter my name as Mar, as I often do, and the whole game is essentially just that, just fighting bosses as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure if you actually get beyond the very first boss even, or if the whole game is just a score attack on the first one. So I want to be kind of honest and clear in the fact that this is as much as a critique as it is also me just trying to do better at this game because I want to see where it goes. I love the background, by the way. Something about the art style here reminds me a little bit of like a cross between the bonus game from Soda Drinker Pro, Vivian Clark, and Untitled Story. You play as this, like, I guess sort of a little like ghost type ship in this one, and it's shooting these little arrows at the sketchy looking baby's face. Now you'll see the hands, they'll break apart, but they'll come right back. So don't get too comfortable thinking I've just eliminated all the projectiles from the fight. That's not the case. As far as I'm aware, though, I'm supposed to be shooting at the baby's head at all times if possible. I don't know that it's necessarily a baby's head, but something about the way it's presented makes me imagine that it is. And I don't look at this in any sort of, like, negative light. Like, it's not like we're actually shooting a baby's head. This is just a bizarre, surreal, abstract moment that we're having here, however that goes. And you'll notice I can control my ship anywhere on the plane. I believe I can actually fly, yeah, I can fly beyond the actual enemy that I'm fighting, which I might even want to do at times. It might be useful in baiting the enemy to attack in a place where I am not. I have noticed, and I don't know if this is based on the score or based on just how things are going. Oh, you get smaller when you're not shooting. I need to keep that in mind. That's a useful thing. But I don't know if it's based on the score or how many times you kill the hands, but eventually the shots start to get a little bit more scary and a little bit more aggressive and have some different attack patterns. So you'd think I would like use that as a cue to not probably shoot the hands all the time, but it's not quite that simple. So you want to actually apparently take turns between firing and then dodging, because you get a lot faster when you're dodging as well. It sort of gets the momentum almost a little bit out of control if you ask me, but it is useful to have that sort of precision or quick movement if you need. Maybe not precision is the right word, but quick movement nonetheless. I also want to comment on, I like the music quite a bit, but the sound effect of you shooting over and over again definitely gets a bit on my nerves. I wish we could have turned that down a little bit more, or perhaps replaced it with something that's a little bit less, I don't know, is staccato the right word? Where it's just kind of, it's percussive, and it draws its attention. Pretty much the whole attention that you're putting on the game is kind of going toward that sound and trying to zone it out, which is not particularly hard to do given the amount of chaos that's ensuing on the screen right now. I mean, it's a simplistic thing that's going on, but the way that the background is grabbing and buffering and then recapturing and replaying all of the smearing effects that are going on, that's a cool effect, and I think it actually works really well. So I just got completely out of control there and smashed directly into the boss. Don't do that, first of all, but man, that background is just messing with my head, isn't it? Well, I imagine it's messing with your head as well as it's messing with mine. I guess I'll do another try at it. I've sat and just whittled away at this boss, and I've gotten my score close to like, what, 7,000-ish, and I've never been able to actually kill it. So I don't know. I have no idea what I need to do here. It's maybe a battle of attrition? Maybe this is the Dark Souls of shmup games, which if it is, that would be fantastic, by the way. Please, somebody go ahead and make the Dark Souls of shmup games where you have like 10,000 million HP on an enemy and you die in one hit, and you've got to just get every hit precision. I guess that's like a bullet hell game essentially, which this is sort of like an accessible version of one of those in a way, but with a slightly more out there art style, which I kind of really appreciate, by the way. Alright, let's do it again. No? I keep hitting enter and then it's just like starting over for some reason. Also a kind of a neat thing that I haven't really ever seen people do before, and this, I don't know if this is necessarily by design or if this is just sort of a quirk of the way the developer created the game, but when you move the character around, you'll notice the angle of your character actually bends with the direction you're moving in. which usually, if you think back to like Gradius or R-Type or something like that, I know it's not a top-down, and maybe Zaxxon is perhaps a better analog for something like that. When you move back and forth, the sprite essentially remains static, and the bullets all come out in exactly the same way every single time. This sort of reminds me a little bit more of something maybe physics-driven. I don't know why that keeps bringing me back to the title screen. I'm not trying to do that. But yeah, you'll notice the bullets actually bend along with the way that you actually bend your character, so in a way, you might be able to use that to your advantage if you're trying to attack at an actual angle. I'm not necessarily sure that we need to do that, but maybe if there are further bosses beyond this one single one, that might be a thing to keep in mind later on. So I'm going to try not to kill the hand on the right for as long as I can, and I am going to try to just work on this baby head for as long as possible, and I just want to see if the bullets will get more aggressive just having shot only the head in the center. Oh, well, I killed it by accident. I knew that was kind of bound to happen. Part of the process of staying alive in this is shooting all of these bubbles to try and get them to diffuse, dissipate, disappear, any kind of diss word you want to use. It's helpful to keep them off the screen, but it is also helpful to occasionally eliminate one of the hands too, so you get a few moments of respite. You can also perhaps use that to reset the timer on when these expulsions of bubbles seem to come out at. And I guess there goes my experiment with keeping the hands alive, right? My apologies, by the way, for shooting non-stop and making that sound effect never end for this whole episode. It can be a little bit grating, perhaps. But, like I said, the music's pretty good. I just wish it was a little bit louder, with contrast to the sound effects. Just with, a little volume slider on number even. You set the sound effects down to, like, number 3 and put the music up to 10. That would probably work just fine. But also maybe some different sound effect permutations would be useful as well. I've seen people do that before. They put a little pitch shift that is sort of triggered randomly to make it so there's not just the same sound, and then maybe it can almost play a little melody for you. That can be a little bit more enjoyable, although that could also have its own set of drawbacks, maybe even more distracting that way, I'm not sure. At least this way it's predictable. You can kind of anticipate exactly what it's going to be every percussive beat, and it sort of forms its own drum beat in that way. It adds to the soundtrack, perhaps. That's actually a thing that people probably don't consider very often, that probably, if you're going to have a recurring sound effect that's going on over and over again, that it should probably sync up with the music in some meaningful way to make it a little bit less overbearing. I'm getting maybe close to a new record here in terms of damage that I've done. You might notice that it seemed like all of the projectiles... Oh, geez, that was fast. Yeah, it's going to create these little coiled up slinky shots that I need to get out of the way of, and then occasionally I guess it'll still do the regular ones as well. My goal is to try and get to 10,000, but things are going to get a little bit more chaotic there. I just blew up another hand. That sort of seems to speed up the score progression a little bit. Maybe I should try and kill this hand again. Oh, it's going to try and shoot me with slinky shots again. We're almost at 10,000. There we go. We got to 10,000. This is the craziest boss of all time. It just does not die. Kind of wish there was a health bar, so I even know if I'm doing something right. I mean, it has crossed my mind, what if I'm just not fighting the boss correctly? What if I was supposed to whittle down the hands a little bit each, and then destroy them so they both destroy at the same time, and maybe the boss goes into a new phase or becomes vulnerable when that happens? I have no idea. These are all theories that you guys, hopefully, I can use you to crowdsource a solution here, because I need closure in my life in Face Generation. This has to go. This boss needs to die. I can't... There we go. There we go. We can test it now. There's no hands. Look, Ma, no hands. Well, the hands are back now. So if the goal is to just keep on killing the hands to make the head vulnerable, well, I don't have any kind of cue to let me know. And in fact, that's kind of maybe a visual element that might be missing. Something to reinforce the fact that you're actually doing damage. With the hands, they break pretty quickly. The head, though, is basically invincible forever. So I don't know if I'm even hitting the thing. I mean, just give me a little flash every now and then or something just to let me know that's going on, or like a little, squidge sound, some kind of ring, a little thing that lets me know I'm hitting it. It doesn't even have to be all the time, and there we go. I got wrecked. That's bound to happen in Face Generation. Very hard game. Really like the graphics, really kind of trippy, kind of cool to look at. I just wish that I could beat this first boss, which might just require me to work on it a little more. Let me know in the comments if you're able to beat this thing. I personally throw down the gauntlet to all of you watching. Go beat the boss of Face Generation and tell me if there's anything after that, or if you even can, or if you get to 100,000 points and is still alive, or what. Because I need to know. So, I'm going to put the link right in the description. You guys can go play it yourself. It is a downloadable file. It is super small. It's like 1.5 meg or 2 megs or something, so no biggie to download. Pretty entertaining, I'd say. I mean, it's a simple game. I'm not going to get into any kind of high-level critique here because this is just a simple arcade game for fun. We're not trying to make too many serious statements, but I do like to play games that are a little bit on the light side, as well as the serious discussions that we occasionally will get into with the more art-inclined ones. And I'd love to have this as just like a screensaver, honestly. I'm sure there's such a thing out there. But props to the developer for making such a cool visual effect. I really like it. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go for another day. Check out the stuff in the description. Leave a comment. Leave some support if you wouldn't mind. I do greatly appreciate it. And I do read all the comments, by the way, in case you've ever wondered. So yeah, check out my stuff in the social media links. If you want to check me out on Twitter, I tweet all the time. You can feel free to kind of catch me over there. That's kind of like my main method of interaction with the world is Twitter. But, you know, I also have a Facebook. I've got my website, of course, indie-impressions.com. We've now got over 700 episodes in the series, so if you want to go find more, there are plenty of other ones over there. So stop by, say hi in the comments, and I will catch you again tomorrow because new episodes go up every single day. So see you later. Hope you have a lovely night, and I hope you enjoyed the video.